Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to talk about how you can protect yourself so that you don't have your information fraudulently taken and protect your private information. So Preet has prepared a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to pass it over to Preet and he's going to share his screen. And we're going to walk you through some tips and strategies to protect yourself and your data. I'll pass you over to Preet.
Perfect. So today we'll be talking about how to protect yourself from fraudulent activity in the digital world. Unfortunately, with the advent of AI, these attacks are becoming more and more relevant, and at the same time, they're becoming more and more complex. So it falls on everybody to be able to tell the difference between a legitimate email, a legitimate phone call, and a scamming attack, which are now becoming more and more complex. Oh, let's take some examples. A scammer can potentially attack you through a phone call. Now, AI has the ability to copy the voice of a loved one or a relative, and then by using this voice, they will make demands or implore to have some money or any kind of help given to them, even though they are just scammers, so people posing as your loved ones. So when this kind of conversation happens, always be sure that it is actually the other person, the other relative or loved one that you're talking to.
And how they gather that information. You might get a phone call and you pick it up and there's no one there, and you start speaking, you say, hello, who is this? And what's happening is artificial intelligence is recording your voice, and they're using that voice to impersonate you against your loved ones potentially. So anytime that there's TikTok videos and social media of your children or grandchildren where their voice is being used and spoken, artificial intelligence is actually gathering that information and using it against you. So you may get a phone call from a family member who's traveling, your daughter or grandchild,
Yep.
and they're in another country and they need money. That's a typical scamming attack, and it's not actually that loved one. It's actually artificial intelligence that's actually doing an incredible job impersonating yourself. So you can also protect yourself by insisting on Facebook, a video chat where you can actually see the person. That helps protecting yourself, knowing that who you're speaking to really is the person that you believe you're speaking to.
Then online, our information, our personal information, is honestly available on many different platforms. So as employees of an organization, for example, your face, your image, as well as your personal information like your first name, your last name, email, and usually even phone numbers are available. So scammers then are able to use this information or pool all of different information from all of our social media accounts to our personal accounts available online, and then create fake profiles of us and then perpetrate their attacks further and further. Sneaky signature tactic. Now, always be careful about giving your signature to a person who is delivering a package that is unexpected. So in case you're looking for in case someone delivers a package to you and is demanding a signature to have that package released, even though you were not the one that ordered that package, do not give out your personal signature, because once that's done, the scammer can potentially get into your financial accounts or even into your bank account and then conduct withdrawals or any fraudulent activity from that point. Now, the next thing is public Wi-Fi. So the suggestion is to not get into your personal accounts, social media accounts, bank account, investment accounts when you are on public Wi-Fi, because scammers can use really cheap devices to steal your information while you're connected to these public Wi-Fis.
So an example of public Wi-Fi is going into a Tim Hortons or a Starbucks or a hotel where they've got public Wi-Fis for guests, and you on your phone can log in and you get a password for a public Wi-Fi, but anyone can use it. That's public. So those are not places where you should be going on and doing your online banking or, checking out your Facebook. A private Wi-Fi is your home, where you've got your own Wi-Fi set up with your password, or your office too. Like if you're in a work environment where that is a private Wi-Fi connection. So just be really careful when you're in a public situation and using public Wi-Fi. Anything that you use during that time on that public Wi-Fi, I mean, that's easily stolen, and that's probably the number one area where information is being stolen, is people using public Wi-Fi. So avoid it at all costs.
Now let's talk about phishing attacks. So these are attacks that are perpetrated not by AI or a scammer that's posing as a loved one or a relative, but by someone who is posing as an agent from your favorite brand, or even CRA, or any kind of organization that you have given your email to or that you are acquainted with. Now they will pose as agents to get your personal information to them. When someone posing as this agent, always be careful to assess the situation and actually be able to tell if that person is legitimate or not. And always think about if that organization is actually going to call you to get your personal information. So let's take a bank, for example. A bank will never directly call you in order to get your credit card number, for example, or even your security code. And same goes for Asante or for any kind of financial organization. We will never personally call you in order to get your personal information.
Yeah, you would never get an email, a general email from Asante saying, please confirm your social insurance number or your driver's license. That just wouldn't happen. That type of information as data is only updated and collected by us and Asante through meeting with us in person or on the phone. So anytime you get an email where they're asking for any kind of your personal information, whether it's potentially a phishing attack, because they're trying to collect and gather that data from you.
Now, same thing as we said before, always be careful about using public Wi-Fi. The best solution in this case will not to be using public Wi-Fi at all, unless you are in a desperate situation. Next thing is your password for any kind of personal account. Now, the best solution for this is to use a combination of uppercase and lowercase characters, as well as numbers and symbols. Always be careful to write down your password before actually using it, because there have been many cases where passwords have been forgotten, and then the same process needs to be done all over again, and it's pretty much a waste of time at that point. So always be careful to write down your password for your email before actually typing it.
And change them on a regular basis. Every 3 months, go through and change your emails and your passwords. It just makes it easier to keep on top of that by changing it on a regular basis.
And then in that case, even if someone has potentially stolen your email and your password, at that point, once you have changed that password, the attacker cannot then get into your account. And that's why it's always, that's great advice. Be sure to change your password after 3 months. Now let's talk about the difference between a phishing attack and account hack. These are both attacks that a scammer perpetrates, but the underlying difference is that through a phishing attack, the scammer is posing as someone else, and then he's basically relying on you to unknowingly give that information to the scammer, to this person, while through an account hack, a person is able to get into your directly into your account, so without you even knowing. So that's the underlying difference between these two types of attacks. And now let's take a look at an actual phishing email.
Yeah, so you can see there that this email is from my AT&T, and if you look at the logo, I mean, the logo looks like the AT&T logo. It's similar colors, similar, but it's not from AT&T. And then if you look at the email address, that DDT34 at, just following the at, those combination of letters and numbers, that should be the company name.
Mhm.
When you see an email from myself, it's P Mundell at asante.com, or Preet is Preet's name at asante.com. And that indicates it's coming from the company, the organization. When you see something like this, you know that that is not coming from AT&T. That is coming from some ignored source. If you hover over the email address, you can actually see the full email address where it's coming from. And if it looks something different or funny or not quite right, then it's potentially a phishing attack where they're trying to get you to click or provide information, and they're trying to get private information from you.
Yeah, so whenever you get an email like this, be sure to never click on any link, and always double check if that email is actually legit or not. Now, in case it's coming from Pam or from Asante, be sure to well, send it to us. Send it to us so that we ourselves can double check that email and then provide help on this case. Now let's talk about AI. So AI is basically artificial intelligence, and these are software that are very complex and able to collect a lot of data and then analyze that data. Now, there are many softwares around, and scammers unfortunately are using these amazing technologies to conduct all of these different attacks. Now, from phone calls to even emails, it's becoming more and more difficult to be able to tell the difference between a legitimate email and what is considered a phishing attack.
We're here to help you. We want to make sure that your private information is secure and that you're not the target of any of these sort of scams. So just be cautious, and feel free to reach out to either one of us. You can phone the office, you can come into the office, you can bring your devices. We'll help you look at your phone and your laptop or your computer and help you make sure that you're using your technology the most safe and secure way. We're here to help you make sure that you're not deceived out of your hard-earned cash.
Totally. And that concludes our presentation.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.